Saturday was the first warm day of the year here in New York. The perfect day to sit inside and play with cardboard. The draw to Labo is the building, but let's not forget that there's an actual game in here too. This is Nintendo's super simplistic take on VR, and it is way more fun and interesting than it has any right to be. That is, after you put in a little bit of work, of course. I understand that I have a little bit of a unique situation. Not only do I have to build all of this stuff, but I also have to film it and make a video out of it. So however long it takes to do the actual building is just tacked on to the rest of the work that I have to do. I know this is like such a not problem, but it makes the building not fun when it's work. This was work. But I knew what to expect after my last Labo video. I also noticed back then that some other creators had Labo videos, but they mysteriously had these things built already, and they didn't mention the building process at all. I wonder why that is. Somebody built it for them already. That's the place of privilege they come from. I get that for most people, building is half of the fun, so not many people can share in my dread. Look, man, your 6-year-old grandson can build all of this because what the f else does he have going on in his 6-year-old life? He's 6! I'm sorry. Nintendo didn't really put out build estimates for everything in this kit like they did on the previous kits, but they did say it would take between 7 and 12 hours to build everything in the full kit. I don't know about you, but I don't got time for that, so I just got the Essentials kit. This is the only stuff that interested me anyway, plus it's only $40. It's half the price. It comes with the core headset itself and the face gun. Dan got the whole kit.
Hi!
So we'll check on him later for the other stuff.
Oh. Okay then.
Game Explain has a great breakdown estimate for how long each Toy-Con can take to build. The VR goggles. The VR goggles take 45 minutes. The camera takes 50. The elephant and the bird take 80 each. The wind pedal takes 90, and the blaster takes a whopping 195 minutes. That's a total of 9 hours to put everything in the whole kit together. From what I built, this is a very accurate estimate. It includes pee breaks, getting distracted, and fast forwarding through half of the instructions. And the instructions are very easy to follow. The animations make everything super easy to understand. You don't even have to know how to read. I wish they had this for IKEA furniture. You'd expect the build quality to be a little bit lacking since it's just cardboard, but it's surprisingly resilient for what it is. Especially the core headset. This thing isn't going anywhere. It does have lenses on the inside. Mine are a little dirty, but I don't think it's the lenses. It might just be my gross Switch screen itself, because this is my launch Switch. It's dirty. I can't help but compare this to Google Cardboard. In fact, they're essentially the same thing. So this isn't exactly a unique concept, but it's unique to Nintendo. The Switch only has a 720p screen, which is a concern that everybody has. So when you split that in two, for each eye, you're only getting 640 by 720. This ain't no Oculus, relax yourself. For comparison, the PSVR, which was also knocked for having a really low resolution, has a 1080p screen inside of it, which leaves 960 by 1080 for each eye. So the picture quality isn't too great in the Labo VR, but it's never something that I thought about while I was using it. I was never thinking, oh man, this would be so much better if there was a 1080p screen in here. It gets the job done. Remember that this kit was only $40, and the Switch is only $300, which makes this the cheapest VR experience that you could possibly have, assuming that you don't have a phone for Google Cardboard. Plus, if it's games that you want, you're gonna have better games on here. There are about 40 mini games that you can play with just the core headset and the Joy-Con. They're all really short. Some are great fun and some are very underwhelming. There's one where you press buttons to drop certain hamburger ingredients, and that's the whole game. There's no strategy or conflicts or anything. My favorite of these are the ones where you control this little guy. They're little platforming mini games. It's like Mario, but with shittier physics. Most of these are just here to be little sandboxes for you to screw around in. Little demos to show you just how powerful this cardboard hardware could be. And they serve their purpose well. The face gun is really impressive. You cock it like a pump-action shotgun. The trigger is on the back, and when you press it, the core on the inside dislodges and fires forward, giving you actual force feedback. It feels really good. You do have to be a little careful though, since it is cardboard. If you're too aggressive, I could see it coming apart or tearing. The minigames are really fun too. There's a whole on-rails campaign where you shoot these little pink alien creatures. There are even well-designed boss battles at the end of some of the levels. Aside from this campaign, there really isn't much to do with the blaster. There's this weird little two-player Hungry Hungry Hippo game that isn't very good. And besides that, there's only 4 other minigames, which is unfortunate. But it is a great way to get people interested in VR. It's super easy to just pick up and play. There's no controls to figure out, just pump and shoot. It's also pretty wild to pass off to somebody who has no idea what Labo is. They're expecting this dumb little cardboard toy gun, and then they stare into the back end of it and they see this entire world infested with aliens that they have to shoot down. It's awesome. There are a ton more minigames included on this cartridge, but they require additional Toy-Con that are only available in the larger kit. I guess you could try to build them yourself with whatever cardboard you have laying around, or you can try to cheese it by just holding the Joy-Con, but that's not really gonna work. But that's why we have Dan here to talk about all of the stuff that I didn't want to build.
Okay, so now? Okay, great. Since I didn't have all the time in the world, I was only able to make 2 of the other kits, the elephant and the camera. And I gotta say, I haven't had that much fun with cardboard in a long time. I once had a box for it and it was okay. The Labo was surprisingly fun to make and even functions a lot better than I expected. There's even a clicker function in the camera when you zoom in, and it's cardboard, however sturdy. And that doesn't make sense to me. Now, despite the builds taking way too long to build one thing for about 5 minutes of entertainment, I actually had a great time building them, and even more so getting a chance to play with them. The Elephant Mask has 2 games, a marble puzzle game, and then on top of that, a 3D doodle game, even though it's less of a game and more like a feature. The marble game is surprisingly fun and really easy to use. You wouldn't expect it to be so innovative with that giant trunk there, but it actually moves around rather easily, and manipulating the environment in order to get the marbles into the holes is surprisingly easy to do. The doodle game is just that, allowing you to draw in 3D space, and again, it feels smooth, and there are a ton of features you could do to make your works of art really come alive. On top of that, right underneath it is a Pictionary type mini game where you draw something and then pass it off to another player and see if they can guess what you drew. Though I wouldn't suggest playing the Pictionary game in a large party, because that trunk right there, that's not gonna survive your friends. Craig is gonna destroy that shit. The camera is another thing that I was surprised at how much I actually enjoyed. It kind of gave me that first feeling about jumping into VR. You know, that first moment when you put on the goggles and it's just like suddenly you're transported to another world. I didn't expect that I would feel that after playing like the Oculus or HTC Vive, but Nintendo got me. The first one is an underwater picture taking game, and it's simple. There are just fish swimming around, you take pictures. There's a hidden mermaid, that's pretty sweet. You can take a picture of that too. If you've never had a friend play with VR, that camera game is definitely the first one you should start with. Then there's the house camera minigame. Don't play that. The kit overall is just the perfect VR entry-level experience. It feels a lot like Wii Sports, a tech demo that's so well thought out that it actually feels like a full game.
Like I said before, these minigames are there to serve as sandboxes or demos or starting points. Labo is split into 3 sections. You have Make, Play, and Discover. The Discover part is you building your own games. You move things around from these minigames and make your own, or you can start completely from the ground up. It's way more complicated than something like Mario Maker, but if you're down to tinker, you'd have a lot of fun here. You can make a platformer. You can make a first-person shooter. You can make a racing game. You can mix and match. There's so much potential here. I wish there was a way to download or share creations other users have made. That's the one major thing keeping me from playing Labo VR past its novelty period. It has the potential to have a huge community of builders doing really unique and creative things. But instead, we'll just have to live with our creations on our own units and share what we have with the Nintendo Switch subreddit like a bunch of heathens. It's just not the same. On April 25th, we'll be getting updates for both Super Mario Odyssey and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild that will allow us to play both of those games in VR. Odyssey will have designated missions made specifically for us to play in VR, and Breath of the Wild, you'll be able to play the entire game in VR. And I don't understand how that's gonna work at all. The footage they released of Odyssey makes total sense. You're looking down at Mario as he runs about, just like the platforming minigames in the Labo VR kit. Or like that game Lucky's Tale for Oculus that everybody liked. But the footage they showed of Breath of the Wild doesn't look like it's coming from a headset. It looks like the camera is constrained to Link like it normally is. So I'm not sure what role the headset's gonna play in this. Maybe it'll only kick in when you aim your bow, like gyro controls? I'm not sure. Also, keep in mind, there's no strap for the Labo VR, so you have to hold it the entire time you're playing it. You can either hold it with one hand and use your free hand to control the Joy-Con, or you can hold it with both hands with the Joy-Con attached to the unit. This gets very tiring after a while, but then again, so does playing in VR in general. The game constantly nags you to take frequent breaks for a reason. The blaster is a real workout. Labo VR is a really fun experience. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it too much after this video though. Aside from the Odyssey and Breath of the Wild updates, its novelty will probably wear off pretty quick. But it was fun while it lasted. Buy this if you are into building things like Lego, or maybe you want an afternoon activity to share with somebody. I would definitely recommend it for someone who doesn't typically play a lot of video games. The interactivity of the game world inside of this cardboard construction will blow them away. And if you've never tried VR before, for 40 bucks, it's totally worth it. It's the easiest way to get you into that space, and it comes with a bunch of mini games. I think this is the best Labo kit to date by far, so if you're gonna build any of them, this is the one to do. The argument against Labo has always been, you mean I gotta spend all that money on cardboard? Keep in mind, there's a whole game in here. The Essentials kit is $40 and comes with the same game software that the $80 kit comes with. You just won't be getting the extra cardboard creations, which might not be worth it depending on how much building you plan on doing. Okay, we're done. Into the closet with the rest of them. So what do you guys think about Labo VR? Is this something that you tried yourself? Is this something that you were interested in? And how do you feel about it now after watching this video? Is it for you? Leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter, any and all this other social media garbage. Also, thanks Dan for being in this video with me. How much more of this big kit are you planning on building?
Honestly, yes. If I had the time, I would 100% build the rest of the kit. But I got shit to do, so I can't. Also, I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Don't get mad at me, Bob, but product provided by Nintendo.
God damn it, Dan, I had to pay for mine. All right, well, everybody go watch his video. Do you even have a video this week?
Well, maybe this weekend, but I did do a video with AJ on his channel about Labo that should be out right about now.
What the fuck, guys?
I thought he told you.
I'm coming over there. You can support this channel by clicking that little join button here on YouTube, or you can go over to twitch.tv/wolfden, and if you have Amazon Prime, you get to your Twitch account, you got a free Twitch Prime sub once a month. Then you join our supporter-only Discord, you get videos like this early, you get private chat time with us, so you can play video games with us once a month. The most important thing you can do is subscribe to the channel, that's the easiest thing, and share this video with a friend who isn't gonna stab you in the back and make videos without you. Thank you very much, goodbye!